In the next movie, I wanted to show you how ePubCrawler allows you to set up a font mapping. So we're actually bridging two different worlds, the print world and the EPUB world, and they have different ideas about fonts. So to allow you maximum flexibility and minimum amount of manual work, you can set up a font mapping in ePubCrawler so that it automatically translates specific fonts or font combinations into different CSS styles. To do that, you need to work around with a little bit of the config.ini file and the EPUB styles. So the first thing to do is have a quick look at this document. So this is just a dummy test document. It's nothing nice about it, but it's just to test all kinds of things. And I've been doing all kinds of funny things, like I have been creating a paragraph style called base para style. So that style is typically assigned to pretty much all of the paragraphs in the document, so which is okay. And then I've been playing around a bit with some character styles. So you see, as I walk through it, for example, this one is actually formatted in Comic Sans because I know that's something that designers don't like to see. So just for the heck of it, I've used Comic Sans and called the character style Funny Sans. And then here I have some Arial, and here I have some style called Plain Ugly, which is using Courier New. So all kinds of fonts being assigned in the document, so it's really a bit of a hodgepodge. That doesn't matter, so it's all for demonstrating how it all works. So the first thing you do is make sure that there are no overridden characters, like everything is assigned to a style, because ePubCrawler does not take into account any manual formatting. So if I were to take a word here and actually change the font assigned to that word or whatever, that would be ignored by ePubCrawler. It only looks at anything that's formatted in either a character style and or a paragraph style. So if there's any manual formatting, you need to clean that up. There's lots of tools that do that, like Blattner tools or other style cleaning up tools. Right, so we have this document, lots of fonts in there. So the first thing to do is to do a dry run. So I just go to the scripts palette, and on the scripts palette I just run ePubCrawler.jsxbin. So double click, tick tick. So it takes a little second. Done. So and now I hide ePubCrawler for a sec, and the file you want to go, so this is the EPUB folder that was created on the desktop here, test file. So my actual file was called testfile.indd, and the file that the folder that I created is called test file. I go inside the OEBPS folder and I find this file called template.css and open that with a text editor. In that file you can see what it has found. So it will have created CSS styles for all of the paragraph styles and the character styles. So for example, base para style is based on the name of the style in InDesign. See, for example, base char style. So the suffix, the C or the P, gives you an idea whether it was a character style or a paragraph style in InDesign. See, and they're all mapped to some default font. For example, here the base paragraph style actually was using a font called Impact, and all it did was essentially copy the font name without really any regard for whether that would work or not. Now, this is not meant to work, so the whole reason why we open this file is to look at what we need to be mapping. So, and if you look now, there should be a string called here font match string. See here, font match string is impact, 12. So that string is something we can use to do the font mapping. So let's remember impact, 12. So, and if I scroll down and look at the character styles, for example, I see here the font match string for the base character style C is Arial regular. And if I scroll further down, there is a Comic Sans MS regular. And then if I scroll even further down, there is a Courier New regular. So let's keep this open for a second. So what we need to do now is we need to define the font mapping that we want to use in ePubCrawler. The file to edit is called config.ini. So we've also looked at that file in the previous movie just to configure ePubCrawler, and that same file also contains the settings for the font mapping. So what I do is now I open this file in my text editor, and if I scroll all the way down, you'll find there is a font section with a section name fonts, and then a whole area that's actually totally comments, but I can delete those comments. And here now we can type our font mapping. So we had a font impact font match string impact, 12. Now I can imagine there might be other sizes of impact, not just 12 points. So I can use regular expressions here, and if you know regular expressions, dot star means anything. So this string actually means match any font match string that's called impact followed by whatever you want, comma, some size. And then I have to say what I want to map that to. Let's say I want to map that to the string serif. And I can say, well, I want to do that to serif bold normal. So these are all CSS style information. So font family, font style, and font weight and font style. And then what else did we have? We had Comic Sans. So I can say like anything that starts with comic and then followed by whatever we want. So I'm not even putting the comma. Let's map that to Arial. And I don't worry too much about the bold or italic. And then we also had some courier. So let's map courier followed by whatever we want to courier. And then the last, we had another one, I forgot what it was, so let's have a quick look. Oops, this is going the wrong way. Let's look in the template again. So we had courier new regular, Comic Sans, we had Arial regular. So Arial, we could just leave Arial. Now the easiest is to just say, well, let's do a catch-all. So I'm not going to map Arial itself, but I'm just going to say like anything, dot star means matches anything, equals times. So I'm going to match anything to that's remaining that's not matched yet to times. Okay, so what this will do is anything that's formatted in impact of whatever size will be mapped to serif, bold, normal. Anything that starts with the word comic and then whatever I want will be mapped to Arial. Anything that starts with the word courier and then anything will be mapped to the word courier, and then anything that remains that isn't mapped yet will be mapped to the word times. Alright, so let's close the config.ini. So note also, now we're looking at the template CSS again. So in the template CSS, for example, the base character style C has nothing here. All it says is there's no font family, there's only font style, normal, font weight, normal. And if I look at the base paragraph style, that's just font family impact, the font size 12 pixels, font style normal, font weight normal. So kind of try to remember how this looked, and we'll just hide this thing. So now that the config.ini has been adjusted, I simply rerun ePubCrawler. So that takes a sec, and then I hide the things that are on my desktop. And you see the first run of ePubCrawler is this ePub folder called test file. The second time I run it, it now created test file 1. So inside test file 1, I've again go and find the template CSS. This is a different template CSS file. This is the one that we created with the second run. And if I open it now, you see the base paragraph style P says now font family serif. And it also added the comment called mapped, which signifies that this font name or this font family name is the result of a mapping in your config.ini file. Font style is normal and font weight is now bold. See, because we actually in the mapping we asked for the font style to be the font weight to be bold. If I scroll further down, for example, the base character style C is now font family Times, and that's another mapped one. And funny sans C is now font family Arial, another mapped one. And then plain ugly C is now mapped to font family Courier. So let's have a quick look at the results when viewing in a browser. See, you see all my things, like everything here, like the Courier is actually Courier-ish. This Comic Sans is now an Arial. So the font mapping has done its job. So this is a short introduction to font mapping. There's more to it, but I'll cover that in the next movies.